Now, the most important question for the 49ers is if we can go all the way with Brock Purdy, if we can win the Super Bowl with Brock Purdy. Well, before start talking about the Super Bowl, we need to find out if the 49ers are going to make the playoffs. If Brock Purdy, number one, can take the 49ers to the playoffs. And most likely is going to happen. Just the way the defense is playing, they make them absolutely immediately contenders. They become the favorite to win the NFC West. They become one of the best teams in the NFC. Most likely now the team to beat in the NFC. I don't know much about Philly or Vikings or Dallas. There's other teams, very interesting teams, that they are fighting for a position in the playoffs, like the Commanders, like the Giants. I don't know if those teams are to the level of the 49ers, but they are always dangerous teams. Now, let's analyze the last games for the 49ers and if there is any danger game for the 49ers this last part of the season. Let's go with the Bucks. Obviously, the Bucks having Tom Brady, there is always a team. There is always a dangerous team. They always fight till the end. We saw in the past game of the Bucks, they came back fourth quarter, couple of seconds. Tom Brady came back and win the game. So yeah, of course, they always are very dangerous teams having Tom Brady. Absolutely. If they can compete with the 49ers and this defense, I don't think so. I think that the 49ers are way much better team. They are they have way much more talent, even with Brock Purdy as their quarterback. My only concern about talking about Brock Purdy, it is there's always this factor for some players that they go against these heroes, they go against these figures, they go against these goats of the NFL, talking about Tom Brady. I don't know if that will have an impact or will affect Brock Purdy. Nonetheless, there's always a factor of danger facing the Buccaneers with Tom Brady. There comes Seattle. Again, I don't think that Seattle can beat the 49ers. Nonetheless, the most important factor it is that this game is going to be played in Seattle. And the 49ers, historically, we don't fare well in Seattle. So, yeah, it might be that the Seattle, they can beat the 49ers, especially because this game is going to be played in Seattle. Now, a game that I'm very interesting to see. I know I made a video in the past talking about the Commanders and the 49ers, how they're kind of a similar teams and they have similar records. And I don't know, for some reason, I find this game very interesting. Not only very interesting, but also one of the games that it can become a trap game for the 49ers. I don't know if at that point it matters if the 49ers they lose against the Commanders, but it might be that the situation that is right now with Seattle, that we are only one game ahead of Seattle, it might come down to the last games to find out who's going to win the West. So, very important. Then the next game, the Raiders. We know the Raiders, they are not good this year, even if they have a lot of talent. But we need to pay very close attention to that defensive line of the Raiders. That can cause a lot of problems to Brock Purdy, especially knowing that Brock Purdy, being a rookie and not a lot of experience, that can cause some problems. The last game against the Cardinals, we don't know which Cardinals we are going to face. That team has a lot of problems. We don't know which quarterback. We don't know absolutely nothing about this team. What type of team we are going to face the last game of the regular season. So yeah, of course, we have 5 games left. Most likely, we are going to win more than half of those games, 3, 4 games. So most likely, yes, we are going to make it to the playoffs. Now, here's where it comes interesting. The last report regarding Jimmy Garoppolo and the injury was that he's going to be out for 6 to 8 weeks, which is exactly the time for the playoffs. Do you want Jimmy Garoppolo to come back for that injury and try to make the push? We need to see how Brock Purdy looks. First of all, if he sucks, of course you want Jimmy Garoppolo to go back and play in the playoffs to, make the push for the Super Bowl. But how about if Brock Purdy comes, balls out, and becomes, the new revelation of the 49ers? I don't want Jimmy Garoppolo to come back. This is too much speculation, but we need to find out in these next 5 games what it's all about for Brock Purdy and if he is going to play good. Now, very important to mention, not only the teammates right now, everybody is behind Brock Purdy. Everybody's talking about how good is Brock Purdy. But why the heck he lasts until the 7th round, until the last pick in the draft? I don't understand. And now everybody, Steve Young, goes out, oh, Brock Purdy, he's strong, he's fast, he's good. RG3, he's good, he's fast, he's strong. He's a baller, he's a winner. And everywhere now they're talking about Brock Purdy and how good he is. I'm not saying that he is not. I'm just curious about how now everybody it is talking about Brock Purdy and how good he is. Now, most of the talking it is about how good he is, and he didn't get drafted higher because of his measurements, physical measurements. He is not the tallest, he is not the strongest, he is not the most gifted quarterback talking about physique, but intangibles, he's one of the best quarterbacks. Now, there is a piece in YouTube um, that J.T. O'Sullivan made it 2 years ago talking about Brock Purdy. And remember, J.T. O'Sullivan, he was with the 49ers. And they always talk about J.T. O'Sullivan as a very smart quarterback. That at some point, many people thought that he will become a coach in the NFL. So at some point, I have the respect for J.T. O'Sullivan because even if he was not the greatest quarterback, he was good. He was decent. And he's talking about Brock Purdy and the way that he talks. Now, by the way, this I'm talking about that this piece in YouTube is done 2 years ago. So there is no chances that we were talking about Brock Purdy right now, Mr. Irrelevant, and the next quarterback of the 49ers. And the way JT O'Sullivan talks about Brock Purdy, it makes me think that all these things, that all the hype that is surrounding Brock Purdy right now, it is real. It is somehow justified, and Brock Purdy is going to do a better job than many quarterbacks that we saw in the past for the 49ers. So we will see what is going to happen with Brock Purdy, but so far everything is looking good. And this is something very important. At some point, some of the throws it reminds me of Patrick Mahomes. No, 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 no. I'm not saying that he's Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying that he's as good as Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying that some throws he remind me uh, uh, to Patrick Mahomes, to Pat Mahomes, and that sidearm throw. He's one of the signatures of Mahomes. So yeah, and just to make it very clear, I'm not saying Brock Purdy is the next Mahomes. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that some throws, the poise in the pocket, how calm he is in the pocket, the presence in the pocket. It reminds me, it has some features of Mahomes. That's just what I'm saying. Some of the throws also, the sidearm, very quick release. I mean, there's some things there that you can rely or make the comparison with Mahomes. So yeah, we will see if we can go all the way with Brock Purdy. Let's see what happens. It is an exciting moment. It is something that we we are in the unknown for the 49ers, so it's kind of exciting. Let me know what you think, comment down below, and like always, see you in the next one.